So you know, because you've been coming here for a while, and if you're very new to CSL, then I want to tell you that we believe in love, but not just love. We have 7 core values, and each week I get to remind you of them and hold one in mind for our week as our spiritual practice. Our core values are, of course, love, healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. And the core value that we're highlighting today is diversity. An interesting subject, diversity. We all like it as long as everyone acts and thinks like us. Yes. All of my Democrat friends say, we believe in diversity totally. We just want all the Republicans to vote Democrat. And all my Republican friends say, absolutely, we believe in diversity. We just want all of the Democrats to vote Republican. It's interesting how much more comfortable we would be if everyone was just like us. But no one ever is. And that's the way it's supposed to be. We're all unique individuals who bring something new to life. And we improve the quality of life on the planet, and not just on the planet, but in this country, by listening to each other, by valuing each other's diversity and diverse opinions and perspectives on everything. So let your spiritual practice this week to be open-minded and to stay open-minded. When I was a kid, it was pretty easy to find objective opinions about politics and all other issues. We would just watch the objective news. Now there is no objective news. All news has to be vetted. There are no unbiased, objective news reporters anymore. It seems like there's one far to the right and one far to the left. And we keep looking into this and talking into this echo chamber of people that look and talk exactly like us, that hold our opinions. That is very dangerous for a democracy. And so I invite you as an individual, if you are far to the right and you only watch Fox News, to watch CNN this week, all week long. And, yes, diversity is our core value. And if you are far to the left and you watch CNN or MSNBC and you don't watch anything else but that, I want you to watch Fox News all week long. And everything in between. Because you know what? You'll find something you agree with. You will. I do it. You'll find something you agree with, and your opinion might change. You might grow in your understanding of what's right for ourselves and for our country. Diversity is our core value. CSL is part of a global organization with over 500 centers worldwide. We're a spiritual community that honors all religions, diversity, and all faiths. And that's because we know there's no wrong way to worship, whether you're lighting a candle, repeating a mantra, or offering a prayer. We respect and honor any way that draws any individual closer to love, closer to spirit. And so we celebrate our diversity in religious practices in a ceremony this morning we call the Flames of Faith. The candles lit for the Tao to honor the universal path of harmony, the natural way. The candles lit for the shamanic traditions, honoring the belief and practices of all indigenous peoples. The candles lit for Hinduism to honor the spiritual path of devotion and the variety of religious icons and deities. The candles lit for Judaism to honor the path of sacred law. The candles lit for Buddhism to honor the Four Noble Truths and the way of compassion. The candles lit for Christianity to honor the Christ consciousness that lives in all of us. The candles lit for Islam to honor the path of peaceful submission to the will of God. The candles lit for the universalistic religion of Baha'i to honor the path of unity. The candles lit for our own faith, which we call New Thought, to honor the metaphysical path and the practice of universal spiritual principles. And finally, the most important candle is lit for peace and for the peaceful acceptance of all faiths and all spiritual practices worldwide. This morning, we are blessed to have a guest speaker with us today, and I want to tell you just a little bit about him. Reverend Skip Jennings is a podcaster, a featured teacher on the meditation app Insight Timer. You may have seen him or know him from there. He's the author of The Lotus Kitchen, Spirit Explosion, and The Little Book for Big Transformations. He's a graduate of ministerial school at Agape University and owner of Mind, Body, Spirit Solutions, LLC. Skip is a personal coach, and he coaches clients using his, what he calls CARE philosophy, C-A-R-E, which stands for connection, action, remember, empowerment, and self-love. Would you help me give a warm CSL welcome to Reverend Skip Jennings?
Good morning, CSL family. You are my family, and it's such an honor to be here. I want to say that good morning to my Facebook family and friends and Agape family. They're watching from Facebook, and I too was for the last month and a half on Facebook Live with you in my garage. So I'm just so grateful to be out in my garage to be able to be here with you. Every Friday morning, I give a talk on Insight Timer, live talk from my garage. So it's so amazing to be out and about. And I want to say, you don't know until you get here live and you go, oh my goodness, music ministry come through. It sounds good. Trust me, it sounds good on Facebook Live, but let me tell you, here live, you just don't know. And all the songs today is about belief. So I'm going to talk to you about upgrading our belief system. And when we do that, I want you to think about this. Our divine self, there's nothing to be upgraded for. But in the human experience, we upgrade the experience of our belief. And there are three things that in my own upgrading, in my own belief system, I've had three experiences: hope, belief, and knowing. Hope is that little seed that you plant that whatever gets you here to CSL, whatever got you to do something different. We've heard this several times. I know my teacher, Michael B. Beckwith, talks about this all the time, and I've heard Dr. Chris say this, that the pain will push until the vision pulls. So whatever got you here, you are here. There was a seed planted. And then we begin to move into a place of belief, and that is where the consciousness begins to grow. And then we move into the embodiment of what we are hoping to do. And that is the knowing, the embodiment. So today I want to ask you three questions. Number one, what are you hoping to shift in your life? Think about it. It could be something big. It could be something small. It could be something that's been in your consciousness for a long time that you know you need to shift. Bring it into your own consciousness right here. Then I want to ask you the next question. What do you truly believe about that one thing that you want to shift? What do you believe about it? It could be love. What do you believe about love? It could be about abundance, prosperity, plenitude. What do you believe about abundance, prosperity, and plenitude? It could be about health and wholeness. You might just want to be a little healthier. What do you truly believe about this? One of the things I get to contemplate all the time, do I truly believe I live in a friendly universe? Do I truly believe that God is everywhere present, even when I'm watching Fox News or I'm watching CNN or I'm watching all of these different things? Do I truly believe that when I am speaking to someone who might not believe the way I believe? And then there's the embodiment, the knowing. I believe that whatever we are desiring to have in our life, we must be willing to become. That's when the main shift in my own life took place, when I was willing to become self-love. Let's look at hope. Hope is that place where you have a feeling of expectation. You are expecting something to happen. You're expecting a shift to happen. It's a desire for a certain outcome. Hope is a place where you hear words like wish and ambition and dreams and longing. There's also another word I always place with hope is faith. I was brought up in a Southern Baptist home, And my mother would always teach us the Bible verse. And one thing she taught me, and I take it into my everyday life, that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So I've always put hope and faith together, having faith that something could shift in my own life. I have a podcast called In the Flow with Rev Skip and Chad Bradford. And we talk about this, that faith is an acronym. If you get to know me, you'll know I love an acronym. And I teach from acronyms all the time. And we talk about faith in the beginning of the podcast. We say, flow is this: faith, love, openness, and willingness. We have faith that a transformation can happen. We love ourselves through the process, and we be open and willing to have a new experience so the transformation can be realized. Are you in the flow this morning? Do you have faith? When I arrived at Agape International Spiritual Center, I simply wanted to love myself. Because when I got there, I didn't love myself. I didn't like myself. I was in a very dark space. And later on, I found out the name of it was a dark night of the soul. I was having a dark night of the soul. And I just wanted to find love. Because I always thought there was something wrong with me. I thought because I was an openly gay man, I couldn't love God. I felt that I was too black or this. I was always from that place of something was wrong with me. And I was just looking for love, self-love. I was hoping to like myself. So I took that hope, and one of the very first things I did was I jumped into classes right away. I love classes. I love divine study. In fact, I'm in a class right now with Dr. Chris, Journey of the Soul. It's magnificent. If you're not in a class, how will you ever know what you truly believe? See, I was living from a place of belief that my mother and my brother and my father and my grandmother had given me my belief. Did I truly believe what they had given me? No. It was in opposition to who I was. And it wasn't until I jumped into classes that I really began to cultivate what I truly believe. It's not until we jump into the practices of yoga, of meditation, of gracious giving, of service, will we ever really begin to cultivate what do we believe? So I am looking for self-love when I get to Agape, and then we begin to talk about unconditional love. It wasn't until the fact when I got into the classes that I began to understand that unconditional love means love without boundaries. It means love without condition. It means the absolute presence of God that lives within us is love. That's it, period. Doesn't love us because we're a Republican, doesn't love us because we're a Democrat. It loves us because we are. And I did not know this and I did not believe this until I was willing to study unconditional love. I teach yoga, and I'm always saying to my new students that come in, it's going to take you at least 5 times to get on the mat to really believe if you love it or not. See, we can have an attitude of yoga. We can buy the right yoga pants and get the mat. We can watch it and we hear that yoga is really good, but it's not until we get on the mat will we really understand if we love it or not. Will we really begin to cultivate a belief system? So the classes opened up. And then after, there was this space within me that I became unconditional love. From studying unconditional love, I realized that I am the presence of God. That took a long time for me, the study. I became the knowing. I became the love that would show up on the 405 highway, and those from California know about the 405. So when someone cuts you off, am I going to be unconditional love there? Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. My Facebook family in LA knows what I'm talking about. So I've talked about this in my own time, that sometimes I have a little saying. I say, God bless you, because right now I can't. And then I become willing to be that place of love. Yeah. So when we become knowing and we become the embodiment of something, is sufficient knowing. I know people who know about God, and I know people who know God. My mother, Rebecca Jennings in New Jersey, I love her. She knows God. She doesn't just know about God, she knows God. She's steeped in her faith, and she walks with that energy. You know the church mamas. My mom's a church mama. She has she outlived 14 other siblings. So she's the last, yes. I come from some very good genes. Yes, thank you, Mama. Thank you. But she walks with this idea that God is her life. And when you walk with that understanding, the love, the energy, the abundance, the prosperity, everything radiates outside of you. It comes from inside, it radiates outside of you, and it touches everybody. And everyone wants to know what's that step in you, and why you so happy, and why you get that new car. What's going on with you? It's your consciousness, people. It is the consciousness that creates the form. Form always follows consciousness. So I want to share something with you, and this CARES that I use so many times, it is actually the acronym I use to transform my life. So CARES, it stands for connection, action, remember, empowerment, self-love, and self-realization. See, connection for me means simply this. I must be clear of what it is I want in my life to change. What is it that I want? That is the first connection. That is the first thing. And then it became even deeper as I was doing the study. I wanted to find out what is this God energy that everyone keeps talking about, that I am one with God, one as God. What is that all about? And I wanted to connect, so it was through meditation that I began to cultivate this idea of my oneness with Spirit. So we connect, we identify what we desire. What do we want to shift? Become very clear. Because I remember sometimes I would just pray to God, God, I just want somebody in my life to love. And then that person would come. And then I would understand, oh, I need to be a little bit more specific with what I want. Because I got somebody to love. Yes, I did. Hallelujah. Thank you. But was it the right person for me? And it wasn't until the point where I realized that I could, as Ernest Holmes would say, demand a demonstration from this. And I would say, okay, I want this to happen, and I want this to happen, and I want this to be, and this person to come into my life. And I realized throughout the pandemic, you know how much comes through a pandemic. Trust me, your consciousness begins to change. And I realized that I'm no longer going to settle for just someone to love. And I'm not going to settle for just anyone coming to my life that wasn't supposed to be there. So we connect. Action. Every desire requires an action. Every desire requires an action. I remember one of my very first practitioners, and I have some friends here. I have Reverend Tina, who graduated with me, and JC is here as well. And Lissa Sprinkles. Oh. I used to have practitioner sessions with Lissa Sprinkles, and she would talk to me, and there was times where I was in practitioner training 1, and I wasn't doing so good. I had other things on my mind, doing other things. And so she sat me down, and we talked, and then she says, okay, sweetie. And she's another church mom. I go, everything is going to be okay. And then after the prayer, she would say, okay, now, love, it's time to treat and move your feet. That means we do the prayer treatment, but we get into action. This book that we are reading in our Journey of the Soul is The Magic of the Soul. And Patrick Harbola says this: create affirmations for anything you want to change about yourself or your life. Your affirmations are seeds. We just heard that. Your affirmations are seeds that will grow into behavior and patterns. Moisten the soil with the water of your positive feelings that correspond to the seeds of your affirmation. We write affirmations, but then we moisten that soil with our positivity, with positive thinking, with the feeling tone that we want to manifest. Life is not being done to us, y'all. It's being done as us. And once we understand this principle, we become a co-creator with God. R is for remember. We get to remember, and our book for the month is Upgrade Yourself. I love this book. And this book tells us, I'm going to read this, what he says. He says, to reach a higher level of success, you must go beyond changing your belief system. And we just said that. That's the first one, or the second one is the belief. We must go beyond changing our belief system. You must also transform your mindset, be acquiring new mental habits that will support your goals. These mental habits includes perseverance, confidence, determination, proactivity, commitment, consistency. This is what we're here to remember. So with all these that I just said, which one is the one that you forget to do? Which one is the one that you might need to jump in a little bit deeper into? Perseverance? Confidence? No, perseverance means that I'm going to keep going no matter what. I'm going to come to church no matter if it rains or not. And we have that same issue in California. I'm going to be here no matter what I'm feeling. I'm going to persevere through any of my challenges because I know on the other side there's that victory. Confidence. What do we have confidence in? Not little Skip, and that's the outside Skip. I have confidence in big Skip, which is God, that's the confidence my mother walks around with. I have confidence of my oneness with Spirit. That's what we're asking you to have confidence in. Determination. It's a stick-with-it attitude. I'm determined to move through. I'm determined to reach my goals. I'm determined to do what it requires to get into the practice, to get on the yoga mat if that's your thing, or to come to classes, or to join the TPL, which is the great marketing tool. I joined because, Chris said, y'all want a prosperous life, you need to join the TPL. I did because I believed in it. I've always been a tither, and I've seen the demonstration of my tithing has been coming back to me. So I believe in it. What about proactivity? When I knew that was a possibility for me to come here, I got proactive. I began to study. I began to get online with y'all. I began to watch all the past talks. I jumped into a class. I jumped into the forgiveness workshop. I got proactive. I wasn't just going to wait to get here to see what was my belief about CSL Fort Lauderdale. I wanted to be informed before I got here. What's your proactivity for what you want to shift in your life? Are you consistent? Are you committed? I'm committed to my daily practice every day. I wake up every morning pretty early, and I either go for a run, or I get on my Peloton bike, or I do, I do my yoga, whatever it is. I'm doing some activity, and then I'm going to meditate. I'm committed to my practice because I want spiritual growth. I've seen the evidence. Committed. We say discipline, yeah? And in Michael Bernard Beckwith's book, the light visioning process, and he didn't coin it, but he uses it, it's blisscipline. That we understand, we find the bliss when we sit down and we get into the meditation. There is bliss there. There's bliss with our connection with God. E is for empowerment. The empowerment is not that I'm going to give you power because I can't give you something that you already have. Empowerment, spiritual empowerment means is a revelation that there is power within me already. This is the power that I use to transform my life. This is the power that is in you. We are already empowered. We just need to have a revelation about the empowerment that we are, that lives within us. And then the S is for self-realization. I love what we've been talking about in Journey of the Soul. Everything is divinely orchestrated for us to wake up to our divinity. Panache Desai says our humanity is a gateway to our divinity. So everything that we are doing, it is creating this awareness that we are divine, that we are love, that we are prosperity, that we are peace, that we are calm, that we are all these divine qualities you hear from here every Sunday. We are it. We wake up to that divinity. Yeah. So in this process, again, we go back to those three questions that I asked. What is it that you're willing to shift in your life? What do you truly believe about that one thing? And are you willing to become it? Because you already are. You are everything that you desire. So once again, Dr. Chris, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. This is such an honor to meet everyone in person And I want to leave this, what I always say at the end of all my meditations and everything that I finish off, transformation is a choice. And you can choose today. And so ends the lesson. Namaste.
Let's take some time in meditation today to close our eyes to all that we can see outward, and let's look inward.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
What a wonderful idea that Spirit meets me there. That the moment that you decide to take time for spiritual practice is like a date with God. Spirit meets me there. The love that is inside my heart that has not been let out is there. The peace that I have sought to get from outside myself in a chaotic world is already there. The joy that I keep waiting for someone else to bring me or something to happen in the world that will make me joyful is already there. When I choose to go within and turn away from all that is outside of me, Spirit finds me there. We connect in love. We experience and express joy. It is the place of home. It is heaven inside. It is God awake. It is you. And all that you hold inside, all the power you possess, all the wisdom, and all the love. Let's stop for just a minute to feel its presence. When I open my eyes and come back in this room, I'm going to come back empowered. I'm going to return to this space filled with faith and filled with knowing. I'm going to return to this room when I open my eyes, knowing that I am the experience of God loving itself, ready to go out into the week and into the world with absolute trust and conviction that every desire for good in my heart can be made manifest just like that. And so it is.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
Everything that we do at CSL with our closing affirmation and prayer, and yours is exactly like mine. So would you say it aloud with me, please? My belief system is congruent with the life I want to create. Let's know this together. When we walk out that door today of CSL, we are walking into a world that has been created by an infinite intelligence. That we reside on a planet that is held in the precise orbit necessary to sustain all life, and that's because of love, the creative element of life itself. Let's remember the ground we walk on is holy and sacred because it's designed by love and sustained by the power that rules the universe in perfect order and justice. We are in the right place at the right time to unfold the highest possible good for ourselves, for this community, for this country, and for this world. Let's align our beliefs with the truth that sets us free of the cold, hard facts, the truth that we are here by divine appointment, that we are created in love and hold immense value as we gather together in love. This truth is established in our hearts and our minds and becomes so just because we say it is. And so it is. Thank you. Join me again next Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, same time. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.